What's going on, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of the War Report. I'm Goldenboy, this is Winevitable, bringing you all the latest that is going on in the world of Planetside 2 and the PS2 Comp Clash, or Planetside 2 Comp Clash. I want to make sure that we're giving you guys the full breadth of what it actually stands for. Of course, we're going to be talking about Week 4 and all the action that had taken place. Win, how you doing, my friend?
Pretty good. I had a good couple weeks off there, and I'm excited for today. We've got a couple clowns coming on, the jesters later on, and a bunch of good action coming up.
So who are we going to be taking a look at here? Because this is one of the last times we're going to be checking out Indar. Who are we going to be taking a look at in this episode?
All right, so on the North American side, you've got Future Crew facing off against Total Recoil. Now, Future Crew, it's a familiar one here. I had them on quite a few times. So that's definitely looking forward to that match. Two Connery outfits facing off. And then the European side, it's Rock Planet Shotgun versus the Jesters. As I was saying, we've got some clowns coming on. So
nice stuff.
Super excited to see if they do the clown card trick. How many guys they can fit in there? And
Oh wait, so is that an actual thing that they stuff as many people into a car as they can?
I think it involves the harasser, and you have to get as many as you can in there without it exploding.
Imagine, right? That's awesome. Well, of course, really looking forward to seeing how those games can progress, of course. And the cool part is we're going to be kicking off the show with an awesome Skype interview, and I'm pretty pumped about this one. Two amazing people that have been the reason why all this is going on, the Planetside 2 Community Clash. First, we have Torx, one of the casters that partakes in this one, and we also have Margaret Luperza Crone. I want to say Luperza, but it's like Luperza. It's so hard to get it right. Maggie she's killing me. But how you guys doing today?
Good. How you guys doing?
Good. All right. So, all right, let's just start with this one. Both of you guys can go ahead and then kind of take a dig at this. What is the Community Clash, and basically how did it begin? What's the origin story of this?
The origin story, huh? The Community Clash started a while back as an idea when we went to MLG Dallas. Buddy of mine, Knox, and I. And on the way back, he had mentioned something about he wanted to cast. He's interested in casting in Planetside 2, what it'd be like as a competitive competitive esport, I should say. Mm-hmm. And from that point on, we kind of worked with us, so we slowly progressed, and over time, Community Clash is what came out of it. At a very early stage of Community Clash, much different Community Clash, but that was the outcome of that,
nice.
that
Pretty
dream.
Cool stuff. And like, what changed? Like, you guys had this idea from the start, but what kind of altered? Because I mean, Planetside 2 is an ever-evolving game, so I can only understand that the original plan must not have been the same as the one that actually came to fruition.
Yeah, it's much different than when we started. When we started, it was just a community outreach kind of thing, and we'd cast little scrims here and there done on PTS, the PTS server from SOE. And over time, what it ended up turning into is that we involved the community. We got voting done from the community. What size teams do they want? What kind of rules set? How would we do it? Lanes, otherwise, and all those rules kind of start to evolve. And over time, once all those were in place, we started setting up what we see now as preseason games.
Okay.
So you had a bunch of different outfits that play against each other, and we kind of refined the rules over time and refined the systems in the background of how it was done, what kind of problems. We ran into a bunch of problems, as you can expect, as we started off, and Maggie and Radar X were happy enough to help us out, and they're really generous of them. So over time, between SOE and ourselves, we developed to what we are now, which is a 24v24 bracket season system. First season was 8 teams.
Nice
so
stuff. And Maggie, I guess, you being with SOE and everything like that, I mean, was it kind of just like a no-brainer for you guys to come in here and support this initiative that all these guys have managed to put together?
Well, me personally, I'm a huge esport fan. I'm always an advocate of competitive play, and the community has been great about that. And sorry, my cat is playing with his toys in the background. But I saw these different groups of players who were really getting into competitive community aspect of Planetside 2, and they were all building all these different stories. And I was like, what better way than to actually just take everything that you guys are all doing, put you guys all together, and make something even bigger.
Oh, very cool.
Great. Now, this is a lot that goes into this. So what would you say is the most difficult part of putting on the Community Clash each week?
Logistics, I would say. Logistics.
It's always a tough one.
Yeah, getting everybody in place. When we switch to the US and EU do it a little bit differently, but generally we have up to anywhere from 5 to 8 people helping with any given show, and that's production and cameras. There's a lot of people that don't get credit in our team. They just do cameras. They literally get an observer cam and they fly around so that our production crew can take those and output them for the viewers to see. And there's a lot more that goes into it than I think a lot of the viewers understand. And and I would say that a lot of people are spending a lot of time trying to get this thing going. And that's got to be the hardest part, is keeping people and the team organized to be able to make these events run.
Oh, wow.
And that was the big initial thing that I was talking about. Sorry.
No,
and
it's fine.
you know, you have all these different pieces. We have people who love writing. We have people who love making videos. We have people who love casting. We have people who love hosting. And so it was really cool to be able to bring all those people together. And, you know, Adam has been fantastic about keeping them organized. I can't even imagine how much work that was, because it's probably like a second job for him.
Wow.
Absolutely.
Wow. That's awesome.
And, I mean, you guys just brought on an EU team now, too. So, I mean, you've got that going on.
And that was something that we had talked about, was whenever we were going to launch with it, like being able to pull in an EU crew would be great. So I went and talked to PSG and I was like, hey, I would really love for you guys to be a part of this, because I can't do everything because I'm working during the times that EU would love to play.
Yeah.
So I got some of the PSG guys, which is ProSieben Stat. They run all of our EU Planetside 2 jazz, and so they kind of helped out, and Adam found a crew of people who were already kind of doing something like Clash, but not really, but they were at least casting and stuff like that and running video footage. And so we pulled them onto our team, and you know, those guys are fantastic. They're great. Kleika's one of the big casters that everyone always like screams about in chat, and he's fantastic. So we're just growing this community, and when you think about like building stories and building rivalries and building friendships and that kind of thing, it's this is exactly what you want. You can't just make an esport overnight, right? You have to have the community there first.
Yeah, and just to go back into the EU portion real fast, obviously that must have been a huge undertaking. You know, you mentioned a lot of great people there that are involved in it, and they were kind of getting their own little thing cooking as well, which I think is great, you know, of course, for the development of the game as a competitive title. So how's the communication been between you guys? I mean, I'm sure everything is, you know, hunky-dory, but just, you know, for those of you guys out there, because I'm pretty sure it is a challenge with time zones and, you know, just sometimes barriers, any kind of barrier that can be presented with that kind of communication you need to have between two completely different sides of the world, you know?
Absolutely. Yeah, we've been really fortunate that as far as our EU team, we have Padawanchi is one of the guys that I interface with a great deal, and he does kind of what I do from the NA side, organizes a lot of the casters, the shows, the notes, is a lot of the presentation, marketing, everything, not marketing per se, but the all that kind of stuff from the EU side. And Kleika, Devolpe, Poisoned Owl's a new one. We have Steel Dragon, huge help from the EU side. There's a lot.
He's
EU
great
side
on all fronts.
Steel's been amazing, and a lot of our graphic stuff comes from Steel. We have been extremely fortunate with a lot of the community that's been really interested in getting this going, and as a team, we've been able to keep it going. Thank goodness.
Yeah, it definitely sounds like a huge, you know, undertaking, and it's great that you guys have all that support. What would you say, you know, with all this has been your favorite part then? You know, on the flip side of the logistics, what really, you know, what's the carrot, and, you know?
The carrot. That's a good point. Good way of saying it. I think up to this point, Maggie said something about 5 weeks ago that that made me. You know, you keep going with something, you go with something, and you don't really think back about why you're doing it until you get something said to you, or unless you have difficulties to a point where you just give up. But luckily in this case, Meg said something that she's been contacted a number of times, and we've been contacted outside as well, saying that we're building teams, people saying they're building teams or outfits, and they're staying playing the game and enjoying the game to be able to do something like Community Clash. And that drives them to keep playing the game and to look for ways to create teams for it. That's my carrot, personally.
Nice.
Definitely the same for me.
For you, Maggie, what would it be? What would be that thing that attracts you to it? Because I mean, you being involved as you are on both ends of the spectrum with the developers as well as, you know, just the community. I mean, what's that win for you?
I think it's the same thing, you know, it's being able to see this community grow, and whether we make it huge or not, I mean, that would be fantastic, right? But we have all these amazing people in our community, like Torx has been talking about, you know, people who love video, they love casting, and they're just all very passionate about it. And they're all doing this on their own free time. So it's just, that to me is amazing. And it's amazing for me to see all these different outfits that do come to me. And that was something I did want to tell Adam and like a few of the other crew that were with us after one of our casts, was I get contacted a lot with people saying this is the most exciting thing for them. They are now building teams for this. They have something to look forward to other than just like the day-to-day playing that you get in an MMO. They actually have something to work towards and a goal. And maybe they won't make it to this season or the next season, but they have something to look forward to in the future.
That's pretty cool. So I guess now, last question before we close this out for both of you. Maggie, we'll start with you first. You know, I guess what's the future? I mean, you mentioned it before. You said that there are people now who are beginning to, you know, gear up and actually make teams for this and hope to get into the next season. What's the future for you personally? What do you see this going for the PS2 Comp Clash?
Well, hopefully I get better at casting. That's the first step. But I think that for us as a whole, I mean, I'll let Torx talk about like the actual intricacies of like what we're going to be doing, but we've learned a lot from season 1, a lot.
Nice.
So as we progress, we're going to be doing more of that, right? We're going to be implementing things that make it easier on our end, that make it easier for you as a viewer to have a better and more fun experience. We want to entertain you, right? That's the whole point of that, is for you guys to watch it, and like even if you're not one of the players in it, to watch it and see a story, watch it build, and see all these players and these outfits and these commanders, right, these leaders, do something amazing and spectacular, and you have all these rivalries. So I'm hoping that we can just continue to progress and make the system better. On SOE's front, I know that we're constantly trying to support them as much as we can. Obviously, we have other things in development that must go before that, because we have to touch all the people rather than just like a small community of them. But I really hope that we see more people get involved in it, and we have, right? Every week we get more viewers, and I think that that's just showing that what we're doing is working.
Nice. And for you, Torx, what is the future hold for this? I mean, obviously, because you being a part of the community, that endeavor that you had to undertake here, what's the future in your eyes for the PS2 Comp Clash?
The current plan right now is to get more of the community to be able to play. And there's been limitations in the past that have technical limitations and community limitations that we've been unable to do certain things. So going on into the season 2 of this, we'll go from an 18 bracket to a 16-team double elimination bracket instead of single elimination. Lets teams get a better chance, get their foot in the door, and understand kind of what this is all about, so that you can form a team. It's not going to be outfit based. You can just form a team. If someone in your outfit, you don't have to just leave your outfit in live play to form a team and disregard all your other friends. You can find people to form up with just to do this, and that's one of the things we're doing for season 2. So we're staying with the 24-man format for the moment. We're going to stay with the lane format, and going into season 2, we're going to allow basically you to form your own teams, give your names, everything else, and sign up, and do 16, like I said, 16-team double elimination bracket. And as we go through that, not all of them will be casted. The first couple steps in the bracket will be non-casted, non-produced, because honestly, that's the limiting factor to how many shows we can knock out in a year, or in a couple-month period, I should say. And then once we get up to the last 8 teams for the EU and NA, we're going to do the same thing we're seeing now, but in a double elimination kind of way.
Okay.
Great. You know, it's really exciting stuff. And, you know, just as a member of the community and a player of the game, you know, I want to thank you guys for putting this on. It's a pleasure to watch it each week, and, you know, to be able to sit here with Goldenboy and go over it. Do you have any last words, you know, any shout outs you want to give to your fans, sponsors, communities?
I do, but why don't we start with Maggie? I'll just list off the team after that.
Yeah, we have a huge crew, and you know, Torx will kind of go on that, but definitely follow us over at PS2 Comclash on Twitter. Check out the website. We have an awesome website that was built, ps2comclash.com. Everything's Comclash. You can go to the YouTube, subscribe to that. PS2 Comclash, everything Comclash. Go check it out, follow it, support us. follow us on Twitch, twitch.tv/planetside2. Every Wednesday we cast from 6 to 8 p.m. It's fantastic. I don't know if we'll ever be changing that date or and a time, but that's currently what it's set to. So you guys should totally tune in, check it out. Let us know what you think.
Nice.
Absolutely. And this is the point at which I list our team, and thank you for all of them, because honestly, yeah, we do a lot of work, but none of this would be done if we didn't have an entire team helping us. Antithesis, the guy who does all of our production for the NA side. There's a lot of work that goes behind that, more than... If you guys have seen the setups that I've tweeted, some of you guys that are watching this, and he has this massive setup. We always do a set of production every week. I drive to his house and we do it for you guys. And we have Indar. Indar helps a lot from DA with stats and the inclusion of stats in the future shows and how we're going to do stats set up so that the viewers are more accessible to the players and their stats.
That part is probably the most amazing part. I can't wait for that to be implemented.
We have a lot of different people working around that, and Ender's definitely helping with that a great deal. We have Farah. Farah is one of our EU casters, very enjoyable I member. Fox, a lot of you guys don't know Fox. Fox is from Azure Twilight, and he does a lot of the assets you see, those little transitions you see in the show, and different art assets are handled by Fox. Hamma, for those of you guys who don't know, Hamma is the head of PSU, but he also helps us with our hosting for the show. Kid Ride helps with writing a lot of articles for Community Clash and does a lot of that, and he does a lot of good analytics in the background. Klika, for those of you who don't know Klika, or I would assume you know Klika by now, every chat room's filled with his name, is one of our EU casters. Much loved EU casters. We have Crunk. Crunk is helping a lot as well from Cams. Lanzer, Gams, Padawanchi, like I said before, he does a lot of logistics from the EU side. Poisoned Owl, host from the EU side. Radar X, doing a lot of help from us from the SOE side, along with Maggie. Steel Dragon does our site, graphics, everything else. T-Volpe, host from the EU side. Man, I'm going along with it. Vonic is helping a lot with the stats and production asset stuff. Derringer's helping with hosting. Micah from Procebian, Peter from Procebian, Tony from Procebian, and Zoran the Bear on cams from the EU side, or US side, sorry. So thanks to everybody on that team. You guys are what makes us go. So thank you.
Wow, pretty awesome stuff. Well, guys, thank you so much for your time. Greatly appreciated, of course. And I mean, the Comp Clash, for me personally, being a big fan of just competitive gaming, doesn't matter the game, being a big fan of competitive gaming, it's always great to see something like this come from the community. So big thank you to you guys. Thank you for joining us, by the way.
Cool. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you for having us.
All right, so I guess moving into what we heard there from Torx, as well as Maggie, what are your thoughts? I mean, of course you coming from the community, I'm a player, I enjoy the game, but you're very much ingrained within it. What are your thoughts on the PS2 Comp Clash?
As they mentioned there, the evolution of it, and you see that they're already planning out the second season. They already have all these things in line that they want to do.
Yeah.
It's really awesome watching it grow and the changes that have been made, where it's going. I'm excited for that. I'm really excited to see, like, as a metagame kind of develops, we get more and more matches, the teams start to really improve, the level of competition is going to go up, and then the skill of the players is going to increase, and you're going to see things that you didn't see before. So all of that, I'm really excited to see how that plays out.
Yeah.
I think they're doing a great job. They take a lot of input from the community on everything they do, and they make a lot of good changes and good adjustments as they move, which is always a good thing. And I also, one thing I do really want to, I'm interested in seeing what happens is the map. They said there's going to be a lane version for season 2. And, we've had in the past, they would do a single point, like in the preseason, just a single point base they'd fight over. Now there's the lane. There was a brief period where we had the Nexus, which is, kind of like 3 lanes on the same map. So I'm excited to see how that changes, what happens there with the whole map, because that's definitely going to affect gameplay.
Yeah, should be a good one. I mean, I'm particularly excited to see how all this evolves. I think that's the cool part about all of this. This is a start, and this is the origin. And things as they grow, they get bigger and better, and just more involved. And it's a community effort, which makes it that much better. So, all right, well, I guess let's go ahead and move on as we get into the action of today, the meat and potatoes of today's show. This is going to be the last time that we are on Sunny and Dry Indar. And I have to say, it should be, we're going to be moving on, I believe, to Esamir next.
Yes,
right?
we are. Yeah, next week.
Very nice stuff. So for those of you guys who are just joining us, don't know what the PS2 Comp Clash is, don't know what these people are playing on, where they're playing on, all that stuff, why don't you run us through that format one more time, Win?
Absolutely. All right, so we've got 16 of the top Planetside 2 teams in the world battling it out for in-game rewards and community acclaim. There's 8 teams in the NA bracket and 8 teams in the European brackets. Now, these are single elimination brackets, so 1 loss and you are out. Otherwise, you move on. And of course, at the end, after the regional finals, there will be a world finals between the top NA team and the top EU team. Each team, of course, consists of 24 players battling out in, as we said, a lane-style map. And so it's 24v24.
That's right. And, of course, Planetside, you get those crazy battles. Nothing like it. You can't find it anywhere else. So, all right, now, of course, we've been following the action throughout the weeks here. And checking out all the teams and what they're doing. Why don't we take a look at the updated bracket to see where we're currently standing here? Because as it seems right now, we got some pretty good matches coming up as well.
That we do. I'm super excited as as I was saying, as we move forward. We'll have up today Future Crew facing off against Total Recoil.
Nice.
And the winner of that will move on to play Dasanfall in the semifinals for the North American side. And also the other semifinal, Sturm Grenadier versus No Nonsense Gamers.
Nice stuff there. I'm really excited about that one. Again, we're going to be checking out that lower portion of that bracket, that Future Crew versus Total Recoil. But we have the EU side and what's going on over here, Win.
All right, today's match is Rock Planet Shotgun facing off against the Jesters. And the winner of that does move on to face any Elite. So super exciting.
Or
and,
I. We haven't, it's just, there's always a toss-up. We never.
That's true.
I know that. I think Torque said I, so we're going with that.
Okay,
we're going with that.
Today's I.
Today's I. Maybe next week it'll be any. So where can more people find information on the PS2 Comclash?
All right. If you want to find all that information, the brackets, the teams, the rules, go to ps2comclash.com. And for the live action, make sure you go to twitch.tv/planetside2 and twitch.tv/planetside2Europe.
Nice stuff there. And of course, like I said before, we are going to go to Indar. And Indar is going to be the battleground for this week. Run us through what we should be expecting to see here, how the game is going to play out.
Absolutely. All right. So you've got 2 halves, 45 minutes each. At the beginning of each half, the middle base, Howling Pass, starts neutral. The other bases on each side belong to the corresponding team. They'll battle it out for that first base, the Howling Pass. That battle has always been so pivotal in each engagement. It's a 3-point base. And of course, the object, the goal here is to capture bases. Howling Pass is worth 3 points. The next 2 bases in succession on each side are worth 2 points, leading to each team's home base, Mal Tech Plant in the north and Rashnu Biolab in the south, which is worth 5 points and also end the half, should you capture it. At the end of both halves, you tally up all of the points, and the team with the most points is crowned champion and moves on to the next round.
Nice stuff. So, all right. Now, I guess, where can people find, of course, we've been making sure we're telling you guys nonstop, but we want to hammer it across where you can find all the information, bracket, schedule, streams, all that stuff.
Yes.
Again, where is that, Win?
ps2comclash.com. All right, go there, check it out. Brand new website. It's great. It's got all of the information. You can find out how to join for future seasons as well. And if you want to check out the live action as well as the full-length VODs, go to twitch.tv/planetside2Europe and twitch.tv/planetside2.
Nice stuff. Now, let's go ahead and get into the action and talk about what we're going to be seeing here for Week 4. We have on the NA side, we have the Total Recoil facing off against one of my favorite teams, Future Crew. I'm really excited. I met the guys. They're great guys. I'm pretty excited for this. What are we about to watch, Win? What should we be looking out for?
All right. So as we said, it's Future Crew versus Total Recoil. You've got the Martian Rebels here facing off against the high-flying, spandex-wearing, MLG pros here, Future Crew, as we've seen them before. It's exciting. It's 2 Connery teams facing off. They really need no introduction. The Future Crew, led by Shock, it's more of a selective outfit, smaller numbers, but it's an all-star cast. They've been on the top of the competitive charts here with Planetside 2 for quite a while. A lot of great names. You Scourge of the Server, Action Bowman, Twiff, the White Feather, may he rest in peace. There's so many guys. I can't even name them all. There's all the.
Well, when it's 24v24, you're obviously not gonna be able to name everyone. But that's what makes it so awesome. There's so many great players on the team. Like you said, it's like an all-star squad, right?
It is. It really is. I remember, from my own competitive days, that this was the team when we heard they were on the server. we looked for them. We wanted, as a competitor, you want to play against the best.
Yeah.
So we really, not to hype them too much, but it's how it is with Future Crew. And Total Recoil, they play on Connery, so they know what they're up against. Of course, they've got their work set out for them. They're a bit of a larger outfit. They really take pride on, selecting, being a bit more open to accepting people, not as selective, and they look for people with drive because they want to really help you get to the top of the game and, of course, take their game to the next level.
Nice stuff, nice stuff. All right, guys. Well, with that said, let's delay no more. Let's get right into the action. Of course, we talked about it before, the two teams facing off, Future Crew versus Total Recoil. Enjoy.
Beginning of these matches, that's the thing that's really that is going to put them forward in this base. So what we've seen a lot of people do is they take flight, they hack the terminals, they get the Sundies out, and they
Both
utilize
openings.
the towers to keep those Sunders, safe. The other option is too, like we've seen people just grab Sundies and go the ground route and try to use gate diffusers to get in there, but we'll see what they do this time around.
Absolutely. So we have ESFs already launching. We have a bunch of the normal opening, as we said before, Galaxy and a bunch of ESFs from both sides. Haven't seen air battle ensue yet, but we see both Galaxies almost ramming each other. TXRs look like they're going for the double stack C, a normal opening for a good defense point. And we see Future Crew still has a bunch of size in the air. They're still hammering at TXR what is left of them. I only see a couple size from Future Crew still up. TXR is not trying to maintain an air presence, not at the moment at least. TXR has C firmly in hand, and looks like Future Crew has firmly B in hand, and A is still flipping.
So something that we know about these teams, or about just this base in general, is whoever controls the air really does control this area and the base. So air is going to be really important for them, and we've seen that time and time again, every round, every time. I mean, in the EU matches this morning, even one of the outfit leaders had stated that he didn't realize how important the air was going to be. Like, he knew it was important, but he didn't realize how important it was, especially for this first base. And something that you're going to notice about both of these teams is they know how to utilize their galaxies. So in the beginning, when you saw those two galaxies going at it, I think you're going to see a lot of that.
So we're seeing a hopscotching Max. He's jumping around. He's shooting some Vanu. We see a bunch of MLG size in the air. Galaxy Battle Gal still staying up. I see a count maybe a half dozen size. So they're definitely wanting to maintain air dominance. Future Crew is.
And Future Crew has a lot of great pilots. Scourge of the Server is one of the most well-known. He's the Scourge of the Server, haha. So we'll see what they do here. I'm wondering how TXR is going to rebuttal this.
So it looks like they're holding C well, and as you said, Scourge. A and B are held by Future Crew, and C is still held firmly by TXR. They're holding off the Future Crew advancements, and Future Crew is still holding heavy to the air to suppress them. Looks like they're coming in with
trying to pull in some Sunders, from the canyon up there. They're also bringing in some very interesting tanks that they have set up on the edges.
Absolutely. Looks like TXR is actually bringing in some ground now. They're going to try to push the ground as they're waiting for... It doesn't look like they're being harassed much by Future Crew air, which I'm surprised. The sides are not hitting the Sunder yet. They gate diffuse through. It's through, and I haven't seen any lull pods or anything on them. They still hold... C is actually in the balance right now. Future Crew is pushing it away from TXR, taking it away from TXR. They're holding A and B solidly, and TXR is using ground, but they haven't got through the shields yet. Just the one gate diffuse Sunday.
Yeah, it's going to be detrimental for them. They got to get one of these points and hold it. Otherwise, Future Crew is going to be able to take this base. We see a couple skirmishes here at the tower too. I don't know. Hopefully, I'm hoping they can keep this Sunder up though.
So TXR looks like they've switched from C to B. They're trying to reinforce and keep on B. They have a handful of guys in there. They're holding it solidly. They've lost C. It's totally in Future Crew hands.
They got a Sunderer right next to B, which could help them. But the problem with B is that it is such a small room, right? Or, you got to figure out how you're going to hold this.
They're holding B still solidly. They're not getting much suppression from Future Crew just yet. B still solid in their hands, but the countdown is going in Future Crew favor at the moment. I'm not seeing... Okay, they're prepping their doors with C4. Future Crew's pushing in with Maxes. C4 went off. They got the Max at the door. The Future Crew's coming through the other two exteriors as well, pinning them in. Oh man, this is not going to end well for TXR. Oh, and they're down. Future Crew resecures B. Now all 3 points are back in Future Crew favor. Absolutely. Oh, Hopscotch and Max is down. Future Crew has B.
Yeah, and this is
time
and time again, I consistently say that B is such an interesting fight. Like, if you're going to go for B, you really got to get that high ground, utilizing those two towers that are right next to B. And obviously you can't see, you can kind of see them if you switch over to Hamma's cam there, and that's going to be really important for them, especially since they're utilizing that tower to hold their Sunders, so they got to defend that like crazy.
Absolutely. 5 minutes 37 seconds to count down for this base. TXR is making a push from the tower. They're having a rough time of it. Bunch of maxes from that drop. They're trying to get out to C, it looks like. That's going to be a long push over. Oh, sorry, I apologize. To B, wrong tower. They're pushing to B with that max, with those maxes and a couple softies. It looks like they have gotten through. B's under contention, but Future Crew still holds A and C. 7 minutes 58 seconds left on the countdown for Howling Pass, and about 41 minutes 30 seconds left on the half.
All right, and they're trying to hold B again. I really hope that they get the high ground there and take care of that, but it looks like they might be pushing their way to C now.
They're pushing across from B to C. They hold B securely. They only have I take that back. They only have a couple guys holding back for it, but they're making a major push for C now. They're trying to keep B and C in their control to keep the countdown in their favor. They're losing B right behind them though as they're going for C, but they're still locking down both, and they're both at least in contention to lock down the timer.
I'm really loving this. It was a great push from them. They took the B point. What they're going to have to do is really go back and secure them, though. They're not going to be able to, and they've got to take this high ground before the Future Crew kind of pushes in here. Especially
Future
since
Crew
they
has
have
a
the A point.
Sunday sitting out by C already at that go path that jumps up from it. And they're going to use that. They're going to put it in the tower. Always, as we've talked about before, great spawn location if you can get us under in the towers.
Future
Great
Crew's
defense spot.
utilizing their air as well. They're consistently dropping in with their Liberators, their Scythes. They even got their Galaxy trying to put some pressure on that Sunder. I don't know if that Sunder is still alive.
The one Sunder that Tixar did have has gone down now. They do have another one in the tower to the south, though. The south tower still holds one of theirs, and they're keeping it alive from the Lib that's actually harassing C now from them. Future Crew, again, has the base pretty much under their dominance. 4 minutes 15 seconds left on the cap for Howling Pass, and about 39 minutes left in the half. It's a hell of a start for Future Crew. TXR looks like they're coming down the hill. I don't see any drunk drivers yet, but a bunch of lightnings and a couple. I'm not seeing any Sundays though. Where's the Sundays at, guys?
They gotta get some spawns in here. This is something that we've seen consistently in every round, is whenever we see guys that are not getting spawns out there for themselves, they're just pushing themselves further and further back. Spawns are gonna keep you moving forward, whether that's through beacons or sunders, but the problem is, when you're coming from NS material storage, you have this huge hill, so you have to be like so careful in supporting all your vehicles. I really don't know if the vehicle route is the best, or ground vehicle route is the best route. We've consistently seen that with Howling Pass, just air is so much more dominant.
Oh,
and
that
being
Lib
able
is
to
just
support
trying to
your
get to those
Sunders
lightnings, and those lightnings are just
much easier.
hammering that Lib, hammering it.
Yeah,
Sky-
they've been keeping their sky guards right there on the ledge, which I actually really love the positions that they've been utilizing right there. But I think the problem is that they don't really have a repair Sunday or something next to them to give them some support, so they get beat up pretty heavily.
So you saw the lightnings harassing. They were able to get the Liberator kind of back off them, but they lost 2 lightnings in the process. Liberator's not dead yet. And they are using those sky guards to suppress the air, but I haven't seen a spawn from TXR yet. TXR has no Sundays on point. Oh, there we go. Looks like we have a couple
And
Sundays
Future
coming
Crew
down the
still
pass.
holds all 3 points. What's our timer on that now?
1 second. 37 minutes left in the half. We do have 2 Sundays. I'm following those down now as we speak. 2 Sunders are trying to come in. I'm assuming they're GSD Sundays.
Yeah, they're booking it. They're going down the hill as quick as they can, but they have like no air support. I don't see any air support coming with them.
We see the 2 Sundays coming down. The Skyguard's able to hold the air off. They're able to keep the air suppressed. So at the moment, these 2 Sundays do have open entrance, but it's not going to do them much good once they actually get inside the shield. Let's see what happens. Hopefully they popped it before, so they're not going to glitch out. Here we go.
These are awesome.
Through the shield they go. Oh,
Now
neither one
positioning
glitches.
of these are going to be so important. So we saw a little stall there. That's going to cost them a lot of time. They've got to move these in here. They're getting stuck on the coral. They need to push these guys into locations. So it looks like they're going to take both of the towers and both of the edges of this base, which I think is not a bad decision, because that's going to allow them to have a lot of space to move and kind of tactically flank Future Crew on both sides.
Get in that tower. Get in that tower with that Sunday. And they are in. The South Tower has a TXR Sunday, and again, they are taking B. Holding B. They only have a handful of squishies on there, but they're not doing much about it. The other Sunder is parked in the North Tower. So this is great placement, I have to admit. North and South Towers both have TXR Sundays in them now. They have stable spawn points for the moment. Air is not going to be able to harass them too much from there. But Future Crew realizes where their weak points are. They're reinforcing B. They're reinforcing the north side of C. Great movement by them. I'm not seeing any bases or any points flipping since these spawn points have been up. I'm wondering if they're trying to mount up a sufficient push. But we only have a minute 50 left on the base, so TXR better get moving. They better get moving soon.
Yeah, they got to make some massive pushes in order to get this timer pushed back so that the Future Crew doesn't take this base. You know, something that I'm seeing that the Future Crew team is actually doing quite well is utilizing that air pad. They're consistently raining down fire on all of the points. They have a couple guys spread out at each of the points, just kind of holding it. They're not keeping in those bases, like staying in there in a trap.
Oh,
they're moving around and consistently keeping themselves maneuverable.
Future Crew's dropping rocket after rocket up those staircases into that Sunder. That Sunder is not going to last long. TXR is trying to keep it rep, but they can't keep it rep forever with just a handful of guys. They're harassing them right outside those stairs. They're not able to make a push out to B or C. They're getting locked down to their Sunders and not able to do anything. We only have a minute left on the base. They need to make a huge push on
one of these points before the timer goes through. Oh, okay. It looks like they might be making a huge push to B.
Here we go. 54 seconds left. Come on, guys. Lock this clock up for a little bit. They're able to get into B. They have a bunch of maxes out. I count about a half dozen squishies, but they are not able to. They aren't able to secure it just yet. Future Crew is fighting on the point with them. Res grenades right and left going off. 2 minutes, 15 seconds left. They were able to take B.
They do have B, so that's really good for them. That's a nice step for them. Now what they need to do is push onto one of these other points. Hold this point. Again, they need to not stay in this building. This building is a death trap. It has so many doors. It's small. They can just throw grenades in there. They need to use those towers that are next to them in order to give this point some more support and push on to another point.
Looks like they did lose that North Sunder. I guess the harassment. They're maintaining most of their forces on the South
They had
Sunder
no
to try to
defense
hold B,
over
but
there.
they lost the North one. And after
they
that
had no
happening,
defense on the
Future Crew is
north
now
side.
pushing them to B.
They didn't even have any guys over there. They were utilizing a lot of their folks on the other side, which I don't know. I guess keeping one spawn point is better than having none.
34 minutes, 30 seconds left in the match, or in the half, I apologize. Minute 30 left. Future Crew is able to consistently hold A and B, or A and C, but they're pushing it on B to try to get TXR out of there. Their Sunder is still up on right next to B. They have that spawn point. They're able to hold it. C is under contention as we speak.
And what you're seeing from Future Crew is they are not pushing just through one door. They're kind of poking and prodding in multiple doors. And they know that they got to get rid of those spawn points. I mean, that's something that we've consistently been seeing throughout each of these seasons, or each of these what would we call this, matches. And people are consistently trying, like, sometimes we see people just forget about the spawn points and they're not even like taking them out, and we're like, what are you doing? You're
10 seconds left.
Spawn.
Future Crew was able to push them all the way out of the B. They have them against their Sunder.
But we're seeing a max push on to B. They got to get some infantry over here.
Looks like they're able to push B back, but it's not going to save them. Future Crew took it. Howling pass, 3-0 in Future Crew favor. It's a good opening for Future Crew. Future Crew, I'm not seeing them prioritize C. Or even did they get the Sun? No, the Sunny's still up. The Sunny's still holding in the tower, and they're transitioning their troops outside. They did park a Sunny. They have a couple mag rides. They're harassing.
They have the Galaxy
I see
as
what
well.
they're doing. They're harassing the Sunder with a mag rider. They're just hammering this Sunday with a mag rider right now. TXR is doing their damnedest to keep this thing up, but it is not going to stay up for long.
It's just that's a lot of pressure, and they're trapped in that tower, right? So it's not.
Sunday goes down. That is pretty much going to be the end for TXR at this base, unless TXR has something up their sleeve. It's going to have to be something very interesting if they're going to be able to hold the rest of this base. It's just spinning around, dropping guys right and left. TXR is kind of harassing it. I'm not seeing much in the way of fighting yet. Future Crew has a couple guys in the double stack across on the point. The point is flipped in in Future Crew favor. 3 minutes 15 seconds left for the countdown. No TXR error, and there's kind of a brawl going over the point. Future Crew definitely has the advantage right now. They're holding the double stack next to the point and kind of holding off TXR as they come in.
Yeah, you know, when Changes was talking about how they really worked on their ground and infantry work, I was like, all right, I want to see a little bit more of this. But the thing is that you really do have to work on your combined arms. You can't just focus on one thing or the other, because it's going to be so detrimental to your people on the battlefield. If you have all infantry, it's easy to cut them off, right? You know where they're coming from. You know how to cut them off. But if you have air, it's a little bit more difficult, because they can kind of maneuver really quickly. They can go back, they can repair, and they can come back around from different locations and kind of flank people.
So as we see, TXR is taking the point back. They were able to push Future Crew off. Future Crew did not have any additional spawns except for the Gal. The Gal is coming back in after it was pushed out. TXR was able to resecure. The Gal isn't dropping anybody, just trying to come and harass them, but TXR is ready. They have a bunch of anti-air waiting for them. They have a Sky Guard. They have a couple infantry. The Mag Riders and everything else from Future Crew are stalled around the corner to NS material storage. It can be an extremely unfriendly base to vehicles depending on how well the defenders prepared. At the moment, TXR looks like they're fighting for their lives just to hold A, but they are at least doing that, and they're doing it well.
Yeah, something that I want to point out that TXR is doing quite well.
Future Crew actually has an Engie turret set up on the stairwell from that double stack, shooting down into the spawn room to suppress them from that stairwell into the double stack. That is one of the best approaches to retake a point in this base. If you can get a full push from out that spawn room into that stairwell into the double stack, you actually have an entire air safety zone to get down right next to the point of the bottom floor. But right now, TXR can't even get to the double stack. They're having a hell of a time getting out of even the base. This air suppression is so supremely done that they're pretty much locked into the spawn room at the moment.
And that's not going to be good for them at all. So I actually find that this one is really great for offenders, and I think the Future Crew is going to have this one in the bag.
TXR looks like they're holding the road to the watchtower, but it's only tenuously. They only have a couple lightnings. They're on fire. This Mag Rider is going to clean these up. Lightning versus Mag Rider, especially on fire lightning, is not going to play well. We see a Prowler coming out to try to hold off that Mag Rider. I hope for his sake he's got AP rounds on that, because Mag Rider has no damage into him right now. They're getting immediately the Prowler's getting hammered by air and suppressed. I'm not seeing any Sky Guards out right now. There is one Sky Guard on the base. I apologize. They're trying to suppress the air. Even two, and these tank battles are one-on-one tank battle. Both are smoking. Come on, you can. No, the Prowler's down. The Mag Rider's still up. We're gonna see an little bit of an armor fight here.
That was an interesting battle, because you had you didn't. That was a bad trade for them. I mean, you had two Lightnings and a Prowler versus one Mag Rider. Obviously, the air is putting in a lot of pressure, but I don't know.
The beauty part about this whole fight on the road is Future Crew already has someone on the point. There's someone already on the point. Don't defend the road if you have somebody on the point. That gal must have already gotten over there, was already ready to go. They have a lib circling it.
They have a lib, they have a scythe. They're just consistently moving around.
Here we go. Push from TXR. We're moving out and we're straight to the SCU, and Future Crew knows where they're at. They're pinning them in from all around the SCU room. TXR's moving for C, but they're just getting murdered outside of this room. Come on, TXR, you can get through there. Get through there. Oh, they lose a lot of the guys right off the bat.
There's some revive grenades going out.
They're using that cover well. A couple of revive grenades. They're only getting the softies, though, and they had a bunch of maxes on this push.
Yep,
bunch of maxes.
Revive any of those maxes with those grenades. They got to get out there. So the problem that we saw there is, that's a perfect example. I wish I could play a replay of what just happened. Their maxes rushed out in that open space in the middle. They aren't using those crates, what you saw from Future Crew on the other end, because they are using the terrain and the boxes and the crates and popping out and getting those angles that are really great. Every angle that they could. And they weren't putting a lot of guys in one area. They were separating, they were taking over the area. They weren't just rushing into one point unless it was necessary.
There goes the biolab, and that's the end of the half, everybody. Now here we go. We're starting off. We see SF's already in the air. A couple Mozzies. Scythe the same way. Oh boy. It's gonna get into a collision. I see at least a half dozen. Oh, more. Bunch ESFs. Bunch of Mozzies from TXR this time around. They're going in. Oh,
and
boy.
that's not something that is different than normal. Air is usually what we see people pull, and ESFs are a fantastic choice.
It's going to look like a fireworks show in here about 10 seconds over the top of this howling pass. All right. Sides are coming in. Looks like they're ditching. A couple of them are suicide. They're keeping a couple of them up. TXR is trying to do a battle gal similar to what Future Crew was doing in the first place. And they're just circling each other. It's whale wars. They have a squad beacon up. TXR is using that to take over C. They have C solidly in their hands, and they're holding A and C simultaneously. TXR is pushing A and C simultaneously. Future Crew has B solidly in their hands, and we have a hell of a start to a half. Looks like the northwest of this point is kind of like a parking garage for TXR. They're showing out there. They might be having like a tailgate
a
party.
Lunch, a picnic.
I was thinking tailgate, but yeah,
a
lunch
tailgate,
picnic might work too. So what do you think they're going to do with this gal? TXR's bringing a gal, and you think it's going to survive more than maybe 20 seconds? Or you think they're going to have to run away?
I hope so, but I mean, they've been bringing in more mosquitoes. So I think that's going to help them as long as they keep the pressure on. But I think that the problem is that they're kind of going with a similar strategy they went with the last time. They have all of those lightnings up on the ridge trying to take care of the anti-air. But I mean, as long as they keep putting some pressure on with their own air, this could work out for them.
So we see this, I'm seeing something similar to what we saw in the biolab to a certain extent. Future Crew is really good at choking. And And by choking, I mean they slowly move in
God.
until they choke them back to their spawn point. They do have a Sunder, and I wonder if they're going to go for a tower again. We keep talking about those towers being great parking garages for these Sunders, but you see something like this when Future Crew knows they're there and they're able to pin you in just one spawn point. It makes it really hard to break out. You can use it initially as a great spawn, but then you kind of have to, you're going to have to rotate to something else. And they have squad beacons. They're using squad beacons very well tonight. But it seems like Future Crew is simultaneously just picking off one spawn at a time and leaving the ones up they know they can suppress. And that's just general good gameplay on their part. All right, minute 30 seconds left. Looks like Future Crew is holding all three again. They're leaving that North Sunday up again. TXR is able to get another one in there after Future Crew cleared out their last one. They're using a gal for a couple drops. They're able to push B and C simultaneously. Yes, use that gal. You know, don't let them pin you in at the Sunder. Good job. They were wiped off C, but they're still trying to fight on B. Oh man, then all three were wiped out again. Oh, this is a sad day. Minutes and 15 seconds left. TXR is having a hard time pushing back into C from that suppressed Sunder to the north. A, B, and C are still all in Future Crew hands. 19 seconds left to cap. They're gonna have to make a push soon. They only have a handful of guys outside. Future Crew is holding both stairs solidly. This is going to be a rough push for TXRs. 8 seconds left. They're pushing A. It looks like they had a couple drop from their gal.
They gotta flip one of these points. They got 19 seconds. Oh my gosh.
Oh, and C was cleaned back up. 5 seconds left in the cap. A is in contention as well. Res grenades are not going to help in this case for Future Crew. There's no one outside, and the facility flips as 15-0 in Future Crew hands right now. Yeah, TXR is using the tunnels to get up. I wonder which one they're going to come out of, though. I've seen a lot of this in the past. Sometimes they'll park Sunders on top of the points, but no, there's not enough vehicles from Future Crew's side to actually get into a secured position yet inside that tech plant. They just have guys on point. And they have a bunch of guys that came out of the elevators now. They're pushing back to A now to make a concerted push and knock Future Crew off the point. Max is galore. It is birthday party time. Future Crew they're not able to hold them back to the point. Future Crew is breaking across into the actual spawn point room, or the point room. They have the point room securely in hand with their entire 24-man team.
Yes.
Everybody's on point. Minute 12 seconds left in their cap.
Please, just hold this base. Do not let Future Crew take this back. This is your last standing, right? Show us what you got. Show us what kind of defense you can do. This, you need to. I need to see this.
So TXR is holding the point. 54 seconds left to recap it back to their favor entirely. 19 minutes, 50 seconds left in the half. 19-0 in Future Crew favor at the moment. But I want to see this base defended. I want to see one hell of a tech plant fight here.
I really like what Future Crew is doing, though. They are using the high ground and just kind of raining fire down on that A point.
Absolutely. TXR is using that balcony to their advantage the best they can. Future Crew, oh, sorry, I apologize. Future Crew's up on the balcony shooting down on TXR, yeah. They have Crab Maxes all over that point, and they wiped out TXR because TXR backed between the point and the balcony. Future Crew, as you see above it, you can... Go ahead.
Yeah, they utilized the balcony, and then they also went in the back way as well, so they kind of sandwiched them.
All right, looks like TXR is pushing back into the building with a handful of Maxes. They have that Sunder still in the back, not really being suppressed much by Future Crew. Both gens are still up. Future Crew's not even bothering with their gens at this point. They're trying to come down through the balcony and from the back. TXR's fighting the point. Good.
Yes. Oh, they made a huge push over here. They totally ignored the harasser at first and kind of made their way, snuck around, were able to clear out of there, but it looks like they're getting pushed back out of the A point once again.
9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Honey, I'm home. All right, the match is over. Facility lost as 24-0 for Future Crew. You know, I don't know what to say other than, hey, hosts, wake up. It's your time to shine. It was great casting again with you, Luperza. Thanks again. Looking forward to seeing everybody next week.
All right, well, that was it. Of course, Future Crew looking dominant in that matchup there. Of course, big shout out to Total Recoil as well. But any takeaways from that matchup there, Win?
Absolutely. I think there's a couple things. I mean, there's really a lot of things, but there's a couple specific things I want to point out. First of all, a shout out to Changes, the leader of TXR, and Total Recoil there for they had their hands full. Put up a valiant effort though. But looking at Future Crew, really two things. Torix mentions one, their ability to choke opponents out, kind of like a Darth Vader chokehold. And you'll see it in the gameplay there. They don't bum rush you. They don't come in all of a sudden. They slowly kind of creep in, use the cover, kind of like a pack of wolves circling prey. They pick off a guy here, 2 guys there, and then all of a sudden, you're surrounded. You're the last guy. You're down. You're out. Future Crew takes it, and that way they can keep all of their guys up and keep moving forward. That's one thing. And another thing, which kind of ties into the next match coming up, is switching gears. And Future Crew is able to do that, switching between infantry, ground, and aircraft. So, keep that in mind as we move forward. Of course, Future Crew, the winner, going to move on to face Dasanfall in 2 weeks' time. So, very exciting matchup. 2 Vanu outfits. They've met before, and I think they're excited to go at each other again.
Yep. And clarification as well, because I know some people are going to be looking at wondering how are 2 Vanu outfits going to be facing off against one another. The way it's basically played is one half will be Vanu, one team will be Vanu, and then the other team would be another faction.
Their
right?
choice, yes. Yeah. And then they switch at the halftime. So
exactly.
I'm thinking they'll choose the new conglomerate NC, but we'll have to wait and see, what their choice is.
Who would be? Future Crew would go for the new conglomerate?
I'm thinking both.
Well, really, both will go for that?
Dasanfall, I think that's what they chose in their last. They had a mirror matchup last time.
Okay.
And so I think they went with NC there.
Interesting stuff.
It's just the close quarters nature of the taking the points. I think the heavy hitting guns of the NC really helps.
Makes sense. So now we have the stage set for our next matchup, which is the EU side of things. We have Rock Planet Shotgun, right? Going up against the Jesters. You mentioned the Jesters. You were really excited about this one. By the way, huge shout out. Rock Planet Shotgun. That's an awesome name. I just want to throw that out there. But yeah, tell us a little bit about these 2 teams and what could we expect in this match.
Sure. Okay. So we'll start with Rock Planet Shotgun. Rock, paper, scissors, Rock Planet Shotgun.
I think
great
Planet
name.
beats all of them, but I'm not sure.
I think so. And they're part of a larger gaming community, which is also Rock Planet. I think it's Rock Planet. Oh, I'm going to get it wrong. But, it's a RPS is their name, Rock Planet Shotgun. And, they're an outfit from Miller, a Vanu outfit, kind of larger in size. I think I've got 371 members versus the Jesters, who have 244, a little bit smaller. Both kind of large-sized outfits. The Jesters are a new conglomerate team from Cobalt, known for their airplay somewhat, but also they, kind of feel good on the ground too. Just hearing their own words, their own description of themselves. On paper, 2 teams very similar to one another. The ranks on the server is 23 for Jesters, 85th for Rank Planet Shotgun. There's a few more points in the accuracy category in the KDR and time played for the Jesters, but it's very close on paper. So we have to see really what this comes down to. Of course, dealing with that air of the Jesters. Will Rock Planet Shotgun, will they have a counter? Is the shotgun going to counter the air? What beats what? And I do have to say one thing moving into these clips. Whenever you cross the street, make sure you look both ways, because you never know when a Reaver is going to be coming down the street headed your way.
Okay. All right. Duly noted. With that said, and that warning from Win, let's go into the action. It is going to be our EU side. We have Rock Planet Shotgun facing off against the Jesters. Enjoy.
It's just started right now.
I have 6 Sipes and the Galaxy off. So this is going to be a nice big air battle. The Sipes going around the eastern corner. All of them in a big group, flanking that Galaxy. So let's see, what are the Jesters doing?
Jesters have pulled a number of Reavers. I can see they've pulled 2 Sunders, 2 Lightnings, and a bunch of Reavers, although they're kind of split up here.
Oh, they're very split up. Those Sipes are going for it already.
You can see the Galaxy's dropped on the A point for RPS. They've already got the vehicle terminals controlled. So they've hacked the V-terms, they've got themselves a squad beacon, they're possibly going to hack the air terminals, and Jesters are nowhere to be seen at the moment. In terms of infantry, they've got a fight
bringing
going over.
Bringing in two Sunderers from the west for Jesters now, while the air battle races on, and it seems those Reavers are, whoa, they're flying in close formation, it seems. Right now, RPS actually lost a lot of their size, and I think the Jesters have air superiority. Yup, they sure do.
Looks like, yeah, so the RPS, no, so the Jester Sunders had gate defuse, although one of them didn't make it inside. So one's inside, probably going to try hide underneath one of the towers. Charlie Point.
I think the one outside is going around north.
Yeah, RPS have got themselves 8 point, but we knew that from the Galaxy drop. And they've pulled themselves asunder, I can see now. And it's hiding underneath the kind of tower bastion points, which is, you know, the usual norm. I can see Jesters have hacked one of the V-terms on the reverse edge, so they've got their infiltrator moving around hacking the different kind of turrets. And their Jesters are using their air now just to bombard the base, getting rid of all the enemy spawns.
It feels like RPS is definitely taking the page out of the INI tactic here from last week, because they're focusing one of their squads on point A. They're just, you know, they're sitting there, have some burster maxes actually, it seems, to take care of the
Well,
Reavers.
they've got A, and they have infantry on A, however, Jesters have got themselves Charlie. If they are going to take a page out of the INI book, they're going to get more air. You know, they can't just sit here and let Jesters have free reign.
This is something we definitely learned last week in the RO versus INI match, is that you can't just pull air at the start and then lose it or win the air battle. You have to constantly have air up in the air, excuse that pun. Right now I'm seeing something really interesting, because B-point is getting flipped.
Yeah.
Yes, they've moved to Bravo, but RPS is also there with 1 or 2 people. I think it is Jesters actually flipping it though. Yes, it's
There's a little fight going inside. Infiltrator just got picked off.
Yep, Jesters wins the point.
They've got more people. It doesn't look like RPS has decided to move down from A point themselves. It looks like they're pinned on A and they're just staying there the entire time. And when I look in closer, I can see, was it 1 burster max having a little bit of a fight, and maybe a couple of heavy assaults with the equivalent grounder, or I forget its technical name.
It is currently 1 burster max going on. We've got a Skyguard incoming for the Jesters next to the western gate.
Oh,
we've got tons and tons of Reavers,
second
and they brought in
squad
another
of
Sundra.
Yep, so the second squad of RPS has pulled asunder and is hiding inside the little kind of bastion point on the east side. They've hacked the A turret again, so that's firing in, and they've got another burster max to try and clear the air here.
Yep, that's they're also flipping point B right now. I mean, that Sundra in there in the tower, that's a wonderful staging point for attacking point B. I mean, you have to get over the road, sure, but and they're sitting in that tower. And while it's okay to sit on A, I mean, you have the high ground and you can shoot down from there. You need to get onto those points. And it also doesn't really help you that you have an entire squad sitting in that tower, because you're also not pulling air. And that's
well, they've just moved forward now with 1 max and 4 infantry are falling up, going for B. It's a small squad. Oh, what a beautiful C4 there by Alpha 5.
Wow.
It's wonderful. Just blew them all up. That was both the medics taken out.
They're all down.
I don't know why you would only push with 4 people, however, or 5 people, including the max. Jester's air is still dominating, however.
Jester's
with
also
black
bringing.
armor,
Jester's putting C4 onto the Sundra. Didn't get to blow it up though. 2 C4 now sitting on RPS. Sundra getting up by the Reaver, killing 3 people.
Oh no, the RPS Sundra's still alive.
Yep, full blockade armor on that one.
Yep.
And are they
it's a tricky one to hit. You have to assume.
They're repairing it. They're repairing it.
The thing is, RPS, they're just playing defend the Sundra. They're not actually attacking. And if we go have a look at Alpha on the cap point, there is essentially at least half a squad, 2 maxes, 3 maxes on A point. But surely they're not going to sit here for 18 minutes.
That Alpha point is very, very secure. Jester's brought in a Liberator buff now, Shredder Liberator, it seems like. I mean, that's obviously not going to do a lot. I guess
it's Tower Wars. This is what this is. It's Planetside version of Tower Wars, yeah.
I mean, that Liberator is going to hover like directly above the tower and shoot down at the Sundra. I mean, that's like the only thing they can really do with it at this point. They're also setting some fire, I guess, on point A, which I'm not quite sure why they're doing.
What surprises me is that Jesters are the ones that are being aggressive here. They're moving forward with their Alpha squad, going for the Sunderer of RPS.
Single medic just recaptured it. They've got bouncing Betties up and that up.
Jesters are, I mean, they're getting picked off outside of the RPS Sunderer, but their medics are keeping them alive. They're charging in now. Oh, this is an interesting one. A couple of AV grenades and rockets would be enough.
Well, send some light assaults up there, you know. I mean, most of them are dead right now.
Oh,
beautiful
nasty
grenade there
C4 and grenades there, yeah. And they're attacked from behind by RPS infiltrator, who just got a couple of kills. 1 resonate there is 2 resonates actually. All the Jesters are gonna be some more
they're all
explosives.
back up again. They're all back up again. Running away now, going from the other side, attacking more from the east. 2 Sundras coming in for RPS here. 1 Scythe, actually. I'm not sure why they just pulled a single one here. I mean, that's just kind of keeping...
It looks like RPS wants to play the crown game, I'm guessing.
Yeah, that Scythe just ran into the Reaver and died, and the Reaver actually survived. And this
so RPS have brought up fresh. reinforcements, but...
Yeah, they're bringing in Sunderers, but both Liberators, Shredder Liberators
Oh,
are
he looks
pounding
purple
them.
because
Yeah.
he's least in Charlie's squad, that's why I
Those
was a little bit
Sunderers,
confused,
one Sunderer is already down, and the Liberators are just hovering there, taking them out. Those Sunderers are not going anywhere. Right now, RPS needs to do something to get some air power back in here. You know, stop the Liberators.
There's
from
not
pounding
that
the ground and go
much
for a
air
point.
in terms. Oh, and the Liberator's now hovering over the tower perfectly, which means the gun though should be able to.
Yep.
Oh, okay, now he's been pushed off.
But
by
again,
flak.
not much air. Not much air is still more
Just
than
takes one
you know,
squad
0.
or 8 people to go back to the base, pull fresh air. I mean, because if I have a quick look here on the map just to see where Jesters are not operating around Rashnu Tower. There's no harassment when you pull fresh aircraft from Rashnu, so there's no reason why RPS can't go back and pull like 8 scythes and whatnot and clear the skies.
Yeah,
And even
indeed,
just
but
having
RPS
30 seconds
is
of
where?
time. Yeah, I mean, they're
RPS right
still
now
in the
is
same
huddled
places.
around A point. They're huddled around A point. They're huddled around their Sundra in the tower. And I'm not quite sure what they're trying to do. And we've got 2 gals with a 3 of 12, 5 of 12. We actually got 4 galaxies. They pulled another one.
First galaxy is almost at the base now.
Yeah. That's the 10 of 12, but oh, that galaxy is gonna have a hard time here. Full under fire. Are they gonna drop? Oh, drop now. You gotta drop. Oh, they lost
Dropped
one
it, they
person,
got
but
in
they're
barely.
Point B. They're on point B.
There's claymores, they're in, but of all the capture points to drop on, B is by far the... Why are you going here? Lightnings can surround you. You're exposing 4 sides.
3 of 12.
Well, they got 2 maxes and an engineer and a heavy.
Those are battle galaxies, by the way. I think they're going for the
no
Liberators.
medics. Alright, well, they've got Bravo temporarily. We'll go have
First
a look
galaxy
outside.
is taken down by 2 Liberators. The
Charlie's
2
flipping, so that's maybe an infiltrator.
Yep, the 2 Liberators, by the way, just shredded that galaxy.
You can do... Lovely, saw that kind of roadkill. Oh,
Yep.
wow,
Oh,
that's
he's
fantastic.
road-killing them. Oh, that just pours salt into the wounds right now. So if you go in there,
Looks
you
like
get one shot.
all the scythes are actually using main and primary anti-air guns.
Makes sense to me. I mean, they want to
Because
take,
they just want to clear the air, they're not interested in rocket podding the ground.
Well, they do have Coyote missiles, which, you know, while not, of course, the best at taking out ground, they do, you know, they can help you.
An engineer backing him up. What's he doing there by himself?
And
Oh
he
my
goes
god,
down
that
and
just
they
looked
flip the
horrible.
point.
Okay, well, okay, so much for that. Let's have a look. I mean,
Yeah.
the new have got themselves
Got a Sundra
motion
that's
sensor,
right next to
Sunder.
here.
And the Sunder's
Got a Sundra,
deployed.
but Sundra's
Oh, the
getting,
medic's gonna
Sundra's
C4
getting C4 right next to the heavy.
What's the heavy doing with the dark light?
Oh, that guy
What's he
got-
doing?
He just got killed. He just got team killed by his own guys. Couldn't blow up his C4. Now he's getting revived. He's gonna push the trigger.
No,
Now
he got
gets
picked up
taken
again.
down again. Oh my god. There's still those 2 C4 just blinking there, and that guy is lying on the ground.
Oh,
wait,
there's
he's
an
getting
AV
revived
max
again.
from behind.
Is he gonna push it?
Picking
is
off.
he gonna push the
No,
trigger?
it's
Yes,
down.
he takes down the Sundra. He takes down the Sundra. Gets
There's
revived, pushes the
Jester's
trigger.
AV max from behind as well.
Amazing. Amazing. Oh,
Many
here they
misses.
come. Galaxy on point A for RPS, dropping all of Bravo Squad. Are they gonna hack the terminals? Yep, of course they're gonna hack the terminals, why wouldn't they? And the air battle begins.
Gonna pick a plane and follow it. There we go.
Yep. We've got a single scythe for RPS right in the middle. Oh my god, being followed by 4 Reavers. Just instigate. 4 Reavers who were flying in perfect tandem. Like, these Jester guys know how to fly in tight formations. I see scythes getting picked up left and
It
right
looks to
right
me
now.
like Jesters are just mopping up. They have significantly more planes in the air, I also think. Well, 2 whole
do.
squads are possibly.
Let's see what Bravo Squad is pulling off here. Now at the same time, Point C is still in the hands of RPS. But Point Bravo is very, very secure. Jesters still have a Sundra up in the tower. They've got a Sundra underneath the landing pad. And RPS actually
Jesters just
doesn't
lost
have
a
any Sundras.
Liberator.
Yeah. But RPS, by the way, no spawn points right now in Howling Pass. Yeah, so right now they're pulling a massive amount of air. They're pulling 2 Liberators. They've got lots of scythes trying to keep those skies clear. They've pulled 2 Sunderers at Abandoned NS offices. I'm pretty sure they're pulling another 2, so that's going to be 4 Sunderers. The Sunderers, by the way, with what looks like a mix of normal Basilisks and actually anti-air. Yep, here we go. 4 Sunderers might actually become 5 Sunderers.
I tell you
But they're
what,
going to
though,
move in.
I mean, props though to RPS. They've definitely learned from their first round we cannot give up in air, and they are pulling
heavily,
air
yes.
consistently.
C4,
There's a Sunder
yeah,
drop.
C4. C4's Galaxy drop is
Nearly
couldn't
not
pull
enough.
the trigger. couldn't pull the trigger.
Looks like he got picked off before he could do anything about it. And
Well,
they've
if
got a
that,
second
Infiltrator
Sundra
throws
that's
a
not
grenade?
deployed,
No.
just using as a gunner variant. It's just bombarding anything that comes from the spawn room up to the A point. Thing is, you're so close here for RPS at spawn room, you can get like tons of conk grenades or AV grenades, just throw them out and then immediately resupply, and you can use smoke and whatnot, so you can make a concerted push. I mean, it's a fairly easy base to get back to the cap point.
It is a very easy base to get
Oh,
there. I mean,
big
you can
gal drop now on the Sundra. A weird.
Oh, and it's down. And it's
I wonder
down.
how
They've
many-
still got multiple. No, wait, it's not down. The Galaxy's down.
No.
Sundra's still
The
up.
Galaxy
They've
rammed
got
into
five
it.
people. 5 people there. 5 people. Sundy's there.
Finally! I was thinking, did you bring the C4? No, I thought you brought the C4. Oh, this is awkward. They brought in lots of armor, which is happening now. I see a Vanguard, sorry, I see a Mag Rider and a Lightning. They have to use their armor to clear off the enemy Sundras.
They're doing it. That Vanguard, that Mag Rider and the Lightning's 2 Mag Riders actually, with Sarons, of course, for long range sniping, are going for the Sundras. But of course,
But they're going to get picked off by the
Jester's-
Reavers.
Yeah.
It needs to
Jester's
be
Air's
an
already
organized ground and air push.
Well, they have Skyguards next to the Mag Riders. The Skyguards are not probably moving up. Those Skyguards need to be directly next to the Mag Riders. But the Mag Riders
It's a
are doing
fantastic
it. I
job.
mean,
Look at the Sunders have all
look
been
at it,
picked off.
look at it. Yep, they're popping them. They're popping
This-
it left and right. Like,
No, that's
like
great work, but the problem is there's still a squad beacon up.
perfect work.
The Mag Riders can still pop out and get rid of that squad beacon. They need to push in the point now, which is actually what's happening. Fantastic!
Look at that
Finally,
Mag
a proper
Rider.
vehicle push and
Look
an
at that
infantry
Mag
push on
Rider
the A.
taking out another Lightning. Is he going to take out another Lightning? Got a Hellboard on top. He's shooting him. He's smoking. Ah, he gets taken
No,
out
I
by
get top of it, but it doesn't matter though. They've given enough time to get the capture point back, so that's a nice last second save there.
Beautiful, beautiful push by Alpha Squad on the ground and Charlie Squad in those vehicles there. RPS pushed out, but 5-1.
And here we go,
And
guys.
with that-
That's it, game over.
Oh,
GG.
here comes the push. Here comes the push.
Push. A little bit too late. It's GG ceasefire, but no, we want the cap point back.
Oh, no, yeah, we got to take that. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, this was the end of the second round, and with that, the end of the match of the RPS Rock Planet Shotgun versus Jest, or
Wow,
the
have you
Jesters.
seen chat, RSG, or Riot?
I am seeing it. I'm seeing it. It is a riot going on in the chat, and with that, we have the Jesters winning this round with 10-0.
All right, so that was it. The Jesters take that one 10-0 against Rock Planet Shotgun. Win. What are some of our takeaways in that matchup?
Well, I'll tell you, clowns with shotguns, they're pretty scary.
I'm definitely afraid of them. Definitely afraid. And the clowns in general, not a fan. But then you couple that with some shotguns. That's not cool. That's not cool. Watch out, guys. Be careful when you walk in the streets.
It's even worse than the Stephen King movie.
Yeah,
you know?
right? Oh, man.
yeah.
See, there you go. Now you're just taking it to a whole level of horror. When this is incredible. All right, well,
Good
so
memories.
what's going on with the matchup,
right.
though? What are some of our things to take away as well, besides clowns and shotguns from this match?
Absolutely. All right, so, I mentioned following the Future Crew match about switching gears. And Rock Planet Shotgun, a big shout out to them. They kind of looked like they were a step behind here. They were switching gears a lot, like I was saying. But they were just maybe not doing it quite as well as they could have. They would pull, 6-7 ESFs, go out there and try and knock the Jester's air down, and just weren't able to do that and then keep their presence on the ground at the same time. So, of course, they did learn a lot between the first and the second half. I think they're going to, definitely be a team to improve, see them again in the future. But the Jesters, they get to move forward, and, their air power there was superior. They held the day for them, and they looked good on the ground too. So, we'll have to see how they do. Of course, they'll move on to face the I Elite next 2 weeks.
Or and again, so it seems like it's INI or it's I. Those guys are going to kill us, by the way. They probably dislike us, but we're just going to go ahead and change the name every episode. That's how we roll here at the War Report. Boom. All right, so let's talk about what we're going to have for next week. What are some of the matches that we're going to be checking out, Win?
All right. So, next week we've got the first round of the semifinals. It'll be, of course, on Esamir. We do have, on the European side, Mercenaries facing off against Rebel Rifles, 2 teams of the new conglomerate. So another mirror matchup. We'll have to see how they do, what their all factions are.
Yep.
And, on the United States side, the North American side, rather, the Storm Grenadier facing off against No Nonsense Gamers, a NC team, versus a Vanu, a VS team.
Very nice, very nice. And of course, those games are going to be taking place April 9th. So you guys are going to make sure that you want to tune in. Twitch.tv/PlanetSide2, Twitch.tv/PlanetSide2 Europe, of course. And those should be some good matches. I love when you get into semifinals in any kind of game. That's where you're going to see some great confrontations and encounters. I'm really looking forward to seeing how these these 4 teams face off against one another in Europe and NA.
Absolutely. You know, as we were saying earlier, the level of play is going to increase each week.
Yeah, that's right.
It's going to get better. The games are going to.
So that means you're going to want to watch.
Yep, definitely.
Because it's going to get better, you know?
Yeah.
Makes sense, right?
Yeah.
Right, of course. So with that said, guys, that is going to do it for us here at the MLG studio. This is it for the War Report, but make sure you guys check out the MLG YouTube channel for watching the VODs in this. You can also, of course, if you're joining us here on MLG.tv, a big thank you for that as well. Now, if you guys want to get involved and play Planetside 2, because it's free, and everyone loves free. You know, like there's free and then there's free, and Planetside 2 is the free kind. So you guys can go ahead and download that at planetside2.com, and I believe it's also available on Steam, so you can actually get it there as well. So again, guys, planetside2.com, and if you want to check out more action with the PS2 Com Clash, just go to ps2comclash.com. You can find brackets, schedules, teams, all that stuff there. Right, Win? Right? I got that right? We're good?
That's it.
All right. So any last words, Win, before we close it up?
No, I just can't wait to see these next couple matches.
Semifinals.
That's it. Semifinals and the finals, the grand finals. Oh, boy. If you had to predict, who do you think? No-nonsense gamers or Sturm Grenadier?
You know, man, got to go with the Sturm.
The Sturm Grenadier, that name it's pretty strong.
Yeah, it just sounds like they are a bunch of, just bad dudes that are looking to put a hurting on someone.
I think they are.
Even though no-nonsense gamers, I mean, they're no-nonsense, right? So it's going to be good. No matter what, it's going to be good. I'm excited to watch the matchup there. So for Win and myself, of course, big thank you to our guests today, Torch, as well as Luperza, or Margaret from SOE. Big thank you to you guys for tuning in to today's show. And, of course, we will see you the next time on the War Report.